Hey everyone, this is Rotary Swing instructor Chris Tyler, and if you've been looking for more distance off the tee, I'm going to show you the one key move in Jason Day's golf swing that allowed him to hit it on average 20 yards further than his playing partner at the Franklin Templeton Shootout. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so those of you that are joining us on our YouTube channel, and before I get started with the analysis, I'm going to go ahead and include a special bonus clip at the end of this video that's going to teach you how to get into a perfect backswing position just like Jason Day has. It's going to allow you to hit the golf ball further than you ever have before. And remember, if you like this video, go ahead and click the like button below, and if you have any questions or comments, feel free to post those up and I'll help you out as best I can. Now let's get started. Okay guys, so this past weekend, Cameron Tringale and Jason Day win the Franklin Templeton Shootout, so congratulations to both those guys. Both phenomenal guys in real life. And I want to focus in on one very key move that Jason Day has in his golf swing that allows him to hit it on average 20 yards further than his playing partner. And if you've been looking to get more power in your golf swing or more speed in your driver, then this is going to be something that you want to pay very close attention to. So let's go ahead and take a look here at both players. I'm going to get both players into a good takeaway position. We're going to talk about some of the similarities here. So here we are at about a completed takeaway position for Cameron, and we're going to go ahead and get Jason Day into a good completed takeaway position. So you can see both players look very similar here. You can see 45 degrees of rotation from the shoulder line. You can see that the club head is in line with the hands here, and you can also notice that the one difference here is that Cameron's got himself a little bit of a right arm bend, a little bit more than Jason Day does. Now this is a big indicator from an instructional standpoint that we have that lead arm starting to push, and it can be a little bit more detrimental than some people think. Even though when we look at this on camera, it looks fairly textbook because of the fact that the club head's in line with the hands and we've got that rotation. But what can happen from this particular position if you've been prone to pushing the golf club back is you're going to continue to push further and further, and you're going to end up with a position here at the top where your right elbow is going to be very deep in relationship to the body. Also, take notice of where his hands are in relationship to the right shoulder. You can see that they're very low in relationship to the right shoulder. They are above it, but they're very deep. His hands are very deep in relationship to the center of his chest, and they're very flat compared to what Jason Day is going to do here. So Jason Day actually gets through the takeaway. He's got a little less right arm bend here. He's going to go ahead and focus on right arm flexion and arm elevation, and he's going to move his hands into a much more vertical position here at the top of the swing. So you can see that the hands are much higher in relationship to the right shoulder, and then also notice the position of the right elbow. It's not deep and behind the shirt seam. So now, from an amateur golfer standpoint, with the position that Cameron's showing us over here on the left-hand side of the screen, this position can be dangerous because 9 times out of 10 we will see players try to reroute the club over the top to get the club back out in front of us. And over the top can kill you on speed. It can produce that big old slice, and we all know that's not fun. Or from more of a professional standpoint, you're going to have to spin really hard with the body to make room for the hands and arms to pass in front. So let's go ahead and get both players down into impact here. I'm going to go ahead and get Jason down into impact. You're going to see very textbook-like impact positions here with driver swings. You can see that his hips are open probably about 30 to 35 degrees. Shoulder line's nice and square. You're going to see Cameron gets into a very similar position as well. Hips are open about 30 to 35 degrees. Very similar style impact positions. So you can see that as we started to look through the takeaway, they looked the same, but the big indicator that there was a big difference was the top part of their backswings. Now Jason was able to use that elevation point as leverage for some more speed in the downward move, and in turn is making quite a bit more clubhead speed. So if you've noticed on camera that your arms are getting a little bit deep in relationship to your chest, then you want to focus on trying to add some shoulder elevation. And we've got some great videos on the website that'll help you out with that. We've got the pool noodle shoulder elevation video that gives you 2 reference points, one throughout the takeaway, and then it gives you another reference point at the top part of your backswing. There's also a great video, 5 minutes to a perfect backswing. Chuck talks about the elevation and the flexion that happens to help move these hands into this position, so you're not getting yourself into this deep, deep hands position where you're going to have to either reroute or spin really hard. Also, 5 minutes to a perfect backswing checkpoints video kind of goes through the movements of elevation and flexion, kind of presetting those moves and then rotating to the top of your swing to help give you a good understanding of where we're trying to look to get these hands. So the big thing is that understanding how important elevation is in your golf swing is going to, in turn, it's going to help you build more power and more speed. And I know we're all looking for that. We all want to hit it a little bit further. So if you've been struggling in those areas, let's take a look at those videos. Make sure that you're trying to not allow the hands to get so deep in your golf swing, and let's get out there and play better golf and hit it way further than we ever have before. All right, guys, I look forward to working more with you in the future. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to post those up under here under the video, and I'll gladly help you out as best I can.
Once you've mastered the setup and the takeaway, it's time to get us all the way to the top of the backswing. I'm going to walk you through the exact same progression that I use when I teach students in person so that you can get the exact same experience and understand exactly how you need to work through the backswing to get into a perfect position at the top every time without any problems. There's two techniques that I use. The first one is progression or stacking. What that means is I'm going to make things really simple at first, and then each time we master a simple little piece of the backswing, I'm going to stack another piece on there to make it more challenging. The second piece is I'm going to use isolationism. And what that means is I'm going to take all the distractions away at first. There's going to be no club, no ball, none of that. So we're really just focusing on movement. So what you're going to do is to get into this depth dimension, because obviously the club's going to end up behind us, that is handled through rotation. So now as I turn, that moves my arms, starts to move them into this depth dimension. It's done by rotation, not by me taking my arms and swinging them across my body. That's going to end up with a flat swing. So what your arms do is that they feel as if they're only moving straight up and down in this vertical dimension. And as I'm doing this, this is when our first drills are going to start. It feels like I'm just moving my hands straight up and down over my head. That's it. They're not moving this way. They're moving straight up and down. So when I put these two together, vertical movement and depth movement, rotation, here's what it looks like. So I'm going to only do vertical movement while rotating. And when you put the two together, you start to create a golf swing and a swing plane.